Oh, he pushed, tilting his hips, and his prick entered me deeper. And that worm something pushed its way painfully past the rim of my sphincter. Oh yeah, it was much too big to be his finger. Scorpius. Okay, no, hold on. Okay. Scorpius continued to penetrate me before and behind, deeper and deeper. I finally realized the rumors about the deformity that was his awe-inspiring codpiece concealed were true. Like his reptilian Scaran ancestors, Scorpius had 2 penises. And both of them were being driven deeper and deeper inside of me with a steady push of his powerful hips. I was so grateful for the anesthetic that he had given me, otherwise the pain would have been unbearable. As it was, I felt that I was being torn in two. Scorpius gave a soft grunt as the flesh of his lower stomach settled against me. He has 2 dicks! He has 2 dicks! 2 dicks! 2 of them! Oh god, okay. The worst part is, like, if this was well written or any other pairing or, like, not awful, I would be happy to read about Scorpius's 2 dicks, but this just hurts. And not in a fun way. It just hurts, okay. Please, please be gentle, I begged him. This time, he said, I am being gentle. When I cease to be, you will know it. God, I've never done this before, I said. I know, and I find the fact most stimulating, purred Scorpius. He jerked his hips, and I shrieked. Oh god. We're almost at the end. It's okay. We're almost there, guys. Oh, poor child. Yet I shall have some pity upon you, Scorpius said, and his fingers came round, pushed their sweet way between my fur, and found my clit. What a nice guy. He stimulated me a little and leant over my back till I could feel his breath on my neck. This, I guess. This caused his peni. Peni. This caused his peni to... Sorry, it's just a really funny word. Okay, this caused his peni to... I can't say it without laughing, I'm sorry. This caused his 2 dicks to pull out of me a little, but only briefly. Okay, he gave an experimental thrust, and I shrieked again, not entirely with pain this time. Scorpius crooned and stroked between my shoulder blades, and then began to frown me with a deep, regular rhythm. I couldn't help but cry out again and again as Scorpius took his pleasure inside me. How he was pleasuring me! I never felt such intensity before. Those clever fingers, those terrible, delightful organs of pleasure and pain that he was thrusting into me. And those sharp, deadly teeth, now buried into my shoulder, okay. I would carry the mark of them on my flesh for weeks to come. On my soul forever. I came, and Scorpius thrust the fingers of his free hand into my mouth, partially stifling my frenzied cries. I heard him give a deep rumbling groan, felt it in the muscles of his slightly convex belly. I came again, as his breathing increased. He gasped. I was making him climax, and found pride in that too. His hips pounded. He was loosing the rhythm as he found... greater strength, and he came, growling fiercely. Warm streams jetted from his 2 stiff cocks. Oh, flowing inside me and spilling out of me. Suddenly Scorpius flung both his arms around my waist, pressed his crotch into me as hard as he could, prolonging his orgasm. His slick black leather fingers continued to finger me, and I could only gasp and come again, knowing how the spasming of my vaginal walls made him feel. What are we on, like 10? At least?
Something like that.
Okay, yeah. Suddenly I was grateful for that something extra inside my ass. Because, in a very true sense, Scorpius had just taken my virginity away. I had given this wonderful, dreadful creature something no one ever had before. And never would again, I vowed. Paradoxically, I began to cry. Scorpius is now limp peni. Limp peni, you guys. It's a thing. Slipped from me, facilitated by his copious clear semen. Oh, and he laid himself down beside me on the bed. I collapsed beside him, and he gazed with curiosity into my face as I continued to cry. "Why the tears?" he asked. "Yeah, you are not sorry that I took you." It was a statement of fact, not a challenge or a question. "I'm sorry," I said, trying to control my sobs. "It's just too intense." Scorpius gave a swift smile of understanding. "I understand. An involuntary discharge caused by excess of pleasure?" "Okay, sure. Something similar happens to me when I overdo it. I expel my cooling rod. It's a safety measure designed as an emergency discharge of heat when I drastically overheat." Thanks for sharing. That's some real cute pillow talk you got there, honey. They like cuddle or something. Oh, yeah. Oh, Scorpius patted my belly. Almost affectionately. "And now, I am becoming aroused again. I will require you to make sheaths of your hands to begin with." I looked down and saw his peni. For the first time, my tears are rendering me unable to see clearly before. They were beginning to rise again, blushing a pale lilac as the dark blood under the creamy blue-white flesh. The upper part of his fearsome set of weapons was smaller than the other two by about 2 inches. Moisture oozed slightly from the darkened slits that tipped the ripe fruit of his 2 glands. I wondered what it would taste like. Then, with a shudder of lasciviousness, I realized that if he frelled me face to face with his lower one, the upper one would rub against my clit, giving me even greater pleasure than before. I found myself hungry for him again. As my hands closed around his now hardened sex organs, Scorpius asked, "Do you know you have a very pretty mouth?" and smiled a twisted smile. It was at that moment I realized that Scorpius intended to kill me. He had decided to frell me to death. It could take some time. Oh, my dear master, my sweet abomination. Well, that's the end of part 1. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Leave me a comment, tell me about, how you feel about this, how much brain bleach you're gonna need. You can hate on me for subjecting you to this, that's fine, I appreciate it. So, yeah, thanks for watching.